call this meeting to order at 6:03. Laura, please call the roll.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Ms. Jamison,
Present.
Mr. Lidniski,
Here.
Mr. O'Vera,
Present.
Mr. Hurst,
Here.
Ms. Lucero,
Here.
and Mr. Daniel.
Here.
Item 3, Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. Please stand. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, staff reports. Anything for the city manager?
We do have one thing we'd like to add for the police department.
Okay.
Okay, Sergeant Leka? Lakey, I'm sorry.
She spells it wrong.
I did choose who I married, I'm sorry. So I'm here to talk about the Citizens Police Academy. It is the first one that, since I've been a part of, have these wonderful flyers. The closing of the applications is going to be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So go on our website, the city's website, the police department website, fill out your application. We've got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to have the canine, the drone. We're going to talk about what we do as the police department, how we answer calls. You're going to get to see the police cars, all the good stuff, the lights and sirens. So, any questions? No? Okay.
Okay.
Do I have any of y'all signed up? No.
The
You can
council
watch us
meeting
fly the
is
drone. The
on.
drone's 10 grand. If they don't even let me fly it,
Do we get a taser?
you get to see me demonstrate tasing the
Nice.
dummy. Do
Nice.
you want to be the dummy?
No.
Stickers? Yes. You don't, no, but you will be a part of the police department forever and always as a citizen of our police academy.
Amanda, the
Yes.
classes are on Tuesday night.
Yes,
And we
Tues-
have council on Tuesday nights.
Well, maybe we can have I don't know, we can talk about that. I'll get with Ms. Jameson. But it's 6 to 8 every Tuesday for the next 8 weeks. We start on the 20th. So, any questions? Just holler at me. Good?
That's it? Okay. Item 5, public hearing. The City of Lacy Lakeview will hold a public hearing for presentation and discussion with public comment concerning an application for a rezoning for a tract of land containing 32.19 acres, more or less, out of the Ironwood Yoakum Partners, LLC, 64.38 acre tract described in special warranty deed, recorded in volume document number 201-704-2663, deed records, McLennan County, Texas, situated in the Samuel Burton Survey, abstract number 77, McLennan County, Texas, said 32.19 acres of land from C1 highway commercial to I1 light industrial. Is that right? L1, I1?
I1.
I won.
We'll open the public hearing at 6:07. Is there anyone who would like to speak on this rezoning? Has signed up? They're about to sign up for this?
Don't speak.
Hearing no one wishing to speak, we'll close the hearing at 6:07. Item 6, presentation to commend and recognize the outstanding work performed by Corporal Paul Nowick, Officer Matthew Rodriguez, and Dispatcher Tracy Stiles during a recent missing person incident involving Mr. Kellyan Dunn and his 2-year-old daughter.
Good evening. Mayor, council, community, thank you for the opportunity to speak. January 4th, our department received a call that immediately raised some concerns for us. A missing adult here in the city who was believed to be suicidal and was traveling, he was mobile with his 2-year-old child. From the beginning, obviously, time mattered, coordination mattered, and clear decision-making mattered. Corporal Paul Nowak took a lead on this case and worked quickly through limited and conflicting information. He coordinated emergency phone tracking requests with AT&T, maintained communication with the family, and ensured that every available resource was being used appropriately and lawfully. Officer Matthew Rodriguez worked alongside him, coordinating with dispatcher Tracy Stiles to obtain critical information from AT&T that ultimately placed the subject in Mejia, Texas. That information allowed our dispatch center to quickly relay details to Mejia Police Department, which directly led to the successful location of the vehicle. Dispatcher Tracy Stiles played a vital role behind the scenes, facilitating communications, coordinating with outside agencies, helping ensure that information flowed accurately and efficiently during a rapidly evolving situation. Because of the combined efforts of these three individuals and the cooperation of Mejia PD, both the individual and, most importantly, the 2-year-old child was located and brought to safety without injury. This incident is an excellent example of what modern policing looks like: teamwork, calm under pressure, interagency cooperation, and a shared focus on protecting life. And I'm proud to serve alongside these three every day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
At 6:10, we will recess a work session to convene regular session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code. Of the Texas Code, the Lacy Lakeview Council reserves the right to go into executive session under any of these exemptions at any time during the meeting that a need arises for the city council to seek advice from the city attorney as to the posted subject matter of this city council meeting. Item 7, approval of the minutes from the city council meeting held on December 23rd, 2025.
I move that we approve the minutes from the city council meeting held on December 23rd, 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Laurie, please poll the council.
Ms. Jamison,
Yes.
Mr. O'Vera,
Yes.
Ms. Lucero, Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Lednitzky,
Yes.
Mr. Hurst,
Yes.
and Mr. Daniel.
Yes.
Item 8, discussion and consideration of motion to approve the rezoning for a tract of land containing 32.19 acres, designated Tract A, more or less out of the Ironwood Yoakum Partners LLC 64.38 acre tract described in special warranty deed recorded in volume document number 201-704-2663. Deed records, McLennan County, Texas, situated in the Samuel Burton Survey, abstract number 77, McLennan County, Texas, said 32.19 acres from C1 Highway Commercial to I1 Light Industrial. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the rezoning for a tract of land containing 32.19 acres, designated as Tract A, more or less out of the Ironwood Yoakum Partners LLC 64.38 acre tract described in a special warranty deed recorded in volume document number 201-704-2663. Deed records, McLennan County, Texas, situated in the Samuel Burton Survey, abstract number 77, McLennan County, Texas, said 32.19 acres of land from C1 Highway Commercial to I1 Light Industrial.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
The
He
tract
asked where it was.
Right.
Used to be the circus.
Yeah, this is Richard, these are the ones just north of Road Ranger. And this is the second track, the one that we annexed in last time. Now we're,
Okay. Rezoning it.
yeah, rezoning that to match the other track.
Any other questions? Laurie, please poll the council.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Ledniski?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Lucero?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
And Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Item 9, discussion and consideration of motion to approve the winning bid from Jurgensen Pump LLC for the Spring Oaks lift station in the amount of $33,003. Do I hear a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the winning bid from Jurgensen Pump LLC for the Spring Oaks Lift Station in the amount of $33,003.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Lori, please poll the council.
Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Lucero? Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Ledniski?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
And Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Item 10, discussion and consideration of action regarding Resolution 2026-1, a resolution of the City of Lacy Lakeview, Texas, addressing annexation plans for the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city for the consideration during calendar year 2026. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve a resolution 2026-01.
Second that.
Any discussion?
For the new council members' benefit in particular, we do an annual review, and because of the way the legislature changed the law, the only annexations that can take place are those that are requested. But we do this review each year, and then do not do any annexations unless and until a specific annexation request is made by the owner. There are none pending, but we do this annually, just so you'll know why it's on.
This is solely within our ETJ at the moment.
Correct.
Any other questions? Laurie, please poll the council.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Ledniski?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Lucero? Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
And Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Item 11, public comment. This time is for individuals to address the city council on issues and items of concern on or not on the agenda. There will be no city council action at this time, limit of 3 minutes per person. The city council reserves the right to move when appropriate, and upon the agreement of the individual, an individual's request to speak on a specific agenda item so they may speak at that time. First person signed up is Amy Gage. Y'all would all please come to the rostrum and announce your name and your address. We have to have it on the record.
Good evening, council members. My name is Amy Gage, and I've lived at 232 East Frost for over 20 years. Although I may not know most of you, I do want to start off by saying that I've personally had several very positive experiences with Lacy Lakeview city employees. The most important of which was during the platting, permitting, and inspection processes my husband had to go through following a recent property purchase. We took on some pretty big projects that came with some pretty big headaches, and I really appreciated that working with the city was not one of them. This kind of leads me into the agenda item that I was here to discuss today, which was agenda item number 10. As a property owner of land within both Lacy Lakeview city limits and its ETJ, I am in full support of passing the proposed resolution. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't use this opportunity to point out the irony of passing a resolution that protects Lacy Lakeview landowners while the city is actively pursuing annexation of 520 acres of land not located in the city's ETJ. At the last council meeting, an MOU regarding a proposed AI data center and corresponding power plant to be positioned on the other side of Elmont was passed. Many are puzzled as to why Lacy Lakeview would be entering an agreement with a landowner for property that lies outside the city's current jurisdiction. I believe this confusion is really just due to lack of transparent and informant discourse. During my years and through my years in this community, I have had heard concerns about leaders making decisions that benefit themselves or their associates, but not necessarily the residents of our community. but I also recognize that it is unrealistic to be able to please everyone, and I also know it's a lot easier to complain than it is to get involved in meaningful and productive conversations. Because of that, I try to draw my own conclusions based on facts and my personal experiences, not hearsay. To that point, I want to mention the unique opportunity our city's leadership has in shaping public opinion. Maybe not on the AI data center itself, but certainly in regards to your integrity and the due diligence you're willing to put forth when considering such a high-profile and controversial proposal. If this project moves forward, the environmental consequences will potentially impact all of the residents of McLennan County, not just Lacy Lakeview and its closest neighbors. If you are truly acting ethically, in good faith, and with the best interests of our citizens and neighbors at heart, it will be evident in the way you distribute critical information, handle inquiries and concerns, and objections associated with this proposal. Last week, I heard Honorable Judge Felton state, elected officials answer to their voters. I believe that to be true, and I would also go further in saying that I also believe elected officials have an obligation to act in the best interest of all their constituents, not just the individuals who specifically voted for them. People in McLennan County are paying attention and will remember how all of our locally elected officials with decision-making power respond to their concerns. Thank you so much for your time.
Next is, the last name is Rogers. Is it Aiden Rogers? Okay.
There you go. My name is Aiden Rogers. I'm at 365 Conacasta, Waco, Texas. Very clearly, the individuals here are adamantly against the AI data center being here, and yet I see a continued ignorance of the city council to their pleas to asking them to stop. The amount of environmental damage that will happen if the AI data center comes to Lacy Lakeview will be astronomical to the climate of causing issues with livestock as well as water usage. We all need water to survive, and yet if you implement this AI data center, it will destroy and pollute that water that we all need to survive. That's all I have to say.
Next one is Carlos Garcia.
Carla.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I think that's pretty obvious. As my sign says, neighborhoods are for people.
Address.
They're not for data centers.
Carla, would you
Yes.
say?
I'm
say
sorry, you're right. My name is Carla Garcia, and I live at 2789 Ross Road, like right next to the cemetery. One difference between me and the cemetery. Nice, quiet neighborhood. The last time I was here, Mayor Wilson spoke about how rural properties change to suburbs, suburbs change to cities or towns, and then that's just part of the evolution. And I don't disagree with that. I thought about it a lot. He mentioned that his childhood home is now, I believe, on Golson Road, which they just expanded, and I know that's not correct. But I do understand what he's saying, and I agree with it somewhat. If that 520 acres had been sold to a property developer that wanted to put in 500 homes, 1,000 homes, I wouldn't be happy, but I also would not be protesting. That makes sense. We are in a neighborhood, and bringing in more people makes sense. I know there's housing shortages. That's a good use of the land. I wouldn't be facing noise pollution, air pollution, water pollution. I would have to adjust. It would be a big adjustment, but it wouldn't be the end of our way of life. It wouldn't endanger our health. Also, something I'd like to talk about, our water company just about 2 years ago doubled our water rates. If they were so concerned about the water 2.5 years ago, how bad is it gonna be whenever this data center uses, the numbers are all over the place, 15, 16 million gallons a day lost to evaporation that they have to replace. It's gonna be unaffordable. We won't be able to have enough water for the people out there. I also like to speak about the jobs. I know that that's a big selling point for this data center, about the jobs that it's going to bring in. But from everything I've read, these data centers have a minimal workforce, 30 to 50 people, not really enough to make an economic impact. There are construction jobs. Now that's temporary. That may be over a 5 or 10 year period. But are those contractors that are going to be building this, are they going to go to businesses in Lacy Lakeview? Is this going to benefit Lacy Lakeview? I don't think that there's enough construction companies here in Lacy Lakeview to construct that. If so, that's going to be a minimal economic impact. What about tax revenue? I know that that's a big thing for Lacy Lakeview. They need the money for their projects. That's understandable. We haven't heard yet, because there's been very little transparency, we haven't heard about what the tax abatements are going to be for the data center. Are this going to be 30-year abatements, 50 years, 75-year? Who knows? Is that money actually going to be coming to Lacy Lakeview? It's probably going to be too little and too late to help with your current problems. So ask yourself, who is actually going to gain from this data center? Just want y'all to think about that. Who is going to gain? Again, neighborhoods are for people, they're not for data centers. Thank you for your time.
Next name is Tiara Sibbles. Is that right?
Hi, it's Tiara Savells. I know it's a weird name. I will be mostly speaking to the residents of Lacy Lakeview today. Sorry, my address is 3500 Myers Lane. Week after week, residents have come together in an effort to use their voice and explain why they oppose this data center to no avail. Many of these residents voted for you, elected officials, to care about their concerns and make informed decisions. And instead, we have seen the opposite of that. These data centers come with a plethora of issues, such as an overconsumption of water, increased power usage, limited economic gains that don't translate to more jobs for our community. And when it comes time for residents to speak on the issues, residents were met with hostility and empty words of reassurances. We are meeting here tonight again because our city council members refuse to listen to the major concern. We don't want Infrakey here. When the mayor cited issues of sewer infrastructure decaying, where is the money allocated by the state in Proposition 4 that dedicated sales tax revenue to protect and expand this infrastructure? That money is supposed to be for cases like this. Where is that money going? I want to reiterate that as elected officials, residents have put their trust in you to make decisions that reflect the needs of our community. You have showed yourselves that you do not care and are not interested in the needs of our community, but instead about putting profit over people.
Next is Patrick Hayes.
Patrick Hayes, 125 North Bermuda Street. Esteemed council members, I just want to talk to you about potholes, okay? On the corner of Lakeview Baptist Church on Avenue D, Bermuda and Avenue D, where they come together, there's a lot of potholes there. So people cut across our parking lot to avoid those potholes. Well, now we got potholes, okay? And I was wondering, I want to put up a barrier there and get the potholes filled. I would ask the city, please take into consideration who caused the pothole there, on our property, and take a motion to fix those for me before I put the barrier up there. If not, I'll pay for it myself and, put the barriers up, but I don't think you want me to do that because I like y'all. If I have to pay for it, I ain't gonna like it too much, but, I just wanna know if I can get some help with that, and it's a mess there, and down the other end too, but that's the one I'm concerned about, because they come whooshing off of Bermuda, coming around that curve, and they just fly through there, and, I think it's not only endangers them, but it's tearing up our property. But I get someone down there to please look at it, and I'd appreciate that. And that's all I got to say about that. Save the water.
Next is Mark Dawson.
I am Mark Dawson. I live at 1945 Fort Graham Road in Waco. Potholes, that's a worthy concern, and I can greatly appreciate that, particularly your position on being willing to fix them yourself. If this data center goes through, you won't have anything to worry about on those potholes. Nor will you in terms of your fire department and your facility. You probably will be able to replace your entire infrastructure. My guess is you will be able to construct new schools. I'm betting that based upon the estimates of the revenue that you will be able to appreciate on an annual basis, within 10 years you will become a mecca here. The face of Lacy Lakeview will change, and it will be in the forefront of progress. And that's a wonderful thing in a very real way. The problem is this. InfraKey has placed you in a remarkably brilliant and unfair position. And the reason for that is that as council members, your number one responsibility is to represent the interests of the people here at Lacy Lakeview. The dilemma is this. The decision that is before you, and every decision you make toward the positioning of this data center, regards our homeland, the quality of our life. It has nothing to do with Lacy Lakeview. And the reason that that position that InfraKey has placed you is so tedious, is so perilous, if you will, is that it is not an economic or a progress-related issue. It's an ethical and a moral issue. Are any of you familiar with the 1887 Dawes Act by any chance? Well, I wasn't either until I began to do a little homework on tonight. The 1887 Dawes Act enabled the government to usurp and to take away all of the lands of the Native American Indians. And we know what happened following that in terms of our own American history. What you really have before you is in like principle. You have the capacity to legally, by law, decide whether or not to annex land that right now is entirely under our purview as far as the quality of life that we have. That will have nothing to do with the impact on Lacy Lakeview citizens. We will be paying the price for that. You will, in effect, be operating under the same principle that our government did some 140 years ago. I respectfully ask you, consider this very, very carefully. Thank you.
Good job. Is it Heather Harris?
I'm Heather Harris. I am a resident at 1945 Fort Grand Road. I'm here to speak in opposition to the annexation of the lands and properties concerning the Infracree area that we've discussed before. I've stood before you before and asked for your consideration, and also asked for you to please do your research and listen to others that are currently living near these data centers and the way in which it has changed the lives of property owners near and around these data centers. And I want to speak in high praise of the people that have spoken so far and that are talking to all of the various areas that we should be considering. You know, as I was coming over here, I was thinking about how this also this same sort of thing has happened in the past, specifically in 2 Kings 2019. I'm a God-fearing woman, and I look at things in biblical perspective. In 2 Kings, what happened here was King Hezekiah heard from the prophet Isaiah that demise was going to come on the land because he disobeyed and showed his land and all of his possessions to an evil person who came in and pillaged the people, took all of their goods, caused great destruction on the land. And Isaiah said to him, listen, here's what's going to happen because of your behavior, because of what you have done, that you were forbidden to do these things and to show everything that you have to this ungodly ruler. And Hezekiah, when he spoke to Isaiah about this, he said, you know, I'm okay with that. He said, this is a good word, that my children will be, or that descendants of mine will be in captivity, that they'll be in Babylon and not me. Because in my day, I will have wealth. I will have goodness. Things will be at peace in my day and age. I'll die before the destruction comes upon the land. So even though he heard that all of his descendants would be affected by something evil that he had done, that the consequences would be for generations to come, he said, I'm glad that I won't be the one that suffers those consequences. The wickedness in the hearts of men often have to do with selfish gain. What can I get out of this? How can I benefit from this? But thinking about what this will look like for generations to come is where your mind should be. This will cost not just your descendants, but descendants upon descendants. And I hope that you'll think about how this will be your legacy. Please read.
Next is Danny Cunningham. Danny Cunningham?
That's me. I didn't sign anything, but I have something to say.
Okay. Somebody.
Oh, I signed that, didn't I? I thought everybody told me, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Very short. It feels very well.
If you just come to the microphone.
Podium.
I'm not loud enough, believe it won't take that long.
Oh, it's for the. It's
Still
for
gotta go.
online.
We have a meeting, open meetings, we're online, so if you're gonna speak, you have to speak so everyone online can hear you.
No, I attended the meeting, same people, same, a lot of ones at Ross.
Sir,
We had,
sir.
Your name and
oh, I'm
address.
sorry. Danny Cunningham. Everybody in the county knows me. 665 Timber Creek Road, Waco, Texas, in Chalk Bluff. Very familiar with that young lady there. That was cool. I was out attending the meeting down at Ross. We had several representatives of the county around. One of them was our state representative. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows. He's telling a whole together different story that I'm hearing here. Who do we believe? That's all I have to say. But look at it very closely and check out what he spread. Anyway. That's true. They're having another meeting also.
Next one is Sean Terrell.
Good evening, council members. Mayor Wilson, I'm Sean Terrell from 238 West Tours Road in Elmont. I'm just down the road from the site y'all are itching to annex for Imperkey. Let's not pretend this is just another owner-requested annex, not Imperkey. This is about whether we hand over our corner of Texas to a power-hungry giant that doesn't care at all about the people who live there. Let's start with scale. Imperkey wants to build a 1.2 gigawatt power plant. That's the biggest electrical plant in McLennan County and anything we've seen around here. And that's just their backup. The daily draw off our grid is enough to power Seattle or Boston. That's 650,000 homes worth of juice. 650,000. I didn't add an extra zero there. That's coming through our lines while we're trying to keep the lines on, or while we're trying to keep the lights on in Ross, Elmont, Lacy Lakeview, and Waco. There's only 53,000 homes in this area. Water, 16 million gallons per day. That's straight from their MOA. Closed loop or not, you already signed up to give them 16 million gallons per day if they need it. That's one facility using 20% of the entire state of Delaware's water usage. You're going to tell your grandkids they can't water their cattle or their gardens so a server farm can stay cool? And what do we get? 30 jobs, 50, for a $10 billion operation. That's not economic development, that's a raw deal. It feels like we're selling the family ranch for a vending machine. And here's the real kicker, you won't be able to control them. Once this thing is built, regulating Amazon, Microsoft, or Google, they will have legal teams bigger than your whole city budget. And when things go sideways, when the water dries up or the grid gets overloaded, they will send a lawyer, not an apology. Look around. Virginia has tried to regulate them and got steamrolled. Georgia put a moratorium on it because it was too late. Arizona cities, and 3 of them, are now scrambling, wishing they had asked hard questions before the concrete was poured. But here, we're not doing any environmental reviews, no binding water limits, no coordination with Waco. In December, you guys voted before 60 of the people were here, and we got to speak. Senate Bill 2038 was written to protect rural landowners. Imperkey is twisting to shove a mega industrial complex into the heart of McLennan County, where it absolutely does not belong. I know 50 million a year sounds mighty fine, but this isn't a golden goose, it's a runaway bull, and you're standing in a pasture with a red flag. We're not against progress. We're just not interested in being the collateral damage for someone else's profit. Y'all are supposed to be stewards of this place and not salesmen. Say no, or at least say not like this. Our petition currently has 2,668 signatories. You should pay attention to that. That's 1/3 of the population of this city, and far more votes than you were elected by. Let's not move forward with Imperkey. Thank you.
Next is Chris Gravitt. Chris Gravitt? Oh, there we go.
Evening, Mayor, Council. Chris Gravitt, 2816 North Katy Road, Elmont. Had the opportunity to speak with you all back in December, and we appreciate the opportunity to speak with you again tonight. And really, I think what you've heard a lot of, a bit more of what you heard in December. And this has become from a lot of work that many of us are putting in to fully understand and comprehend the impact of what's looming against us and what's hanging over our head right now. As you've heard, it's tremendous, and it's actually real for our communities. I hope you've done maybe some due diligence. I certainly understand we're all busy. We have day jobs. But I hope you've looked into what the real impact is of data centers that are happening to real people, not just in Texas, but nationwide. I think the opposition that we're hearing of not necessarily let's not do this, but let's pump the brakes and let's do it in the right way. We're not just hearing that from here locally. We're hearing that from state officials. We're hearing that from our Commissioner of Agriculture, who said, you know what, we got to be very careful with what we allow, or they're going to eat up resources that are really going to impact us long term. We're already seeing what's happening with the prices of food, the prices of water, the prices of electricity. I think what we're asking isn't necessarily, let's not let this happen. Let's not let this happen right here in the way that it's happening. Let's make sure that we're being good stewards. We're asking the right questions. We're protecting the citizens that this will impact. and that we're ensuring that this is a net gain on our community, right? We don't want a resource suck. We want something that's going to add value to our community, not just in a way that's going to add dollars to our budget. So I'm going to ask you to certainly go back and check, do your due diligence, see the impact that that's actually having on real people across the nation, and maybe heed some of that pause that Ag Commissioner Sid Miller is asking for at this moment. And let's truly evaluate that the impact that's actually going to have in your neighbors in Elmont and Ross. While you may not necessarily have that directly here locally, and it could be a boom, certainly, it shouldn't be off the back of others. What we would ask for is, if this is a real opportunity for you, let's talk about it belonging in Lacy Lakeview. Let's talk about you actually getting the full benefit of your citizens and your tax base and your voter base of where it's at, and allowing that land that's currently under agricultural use remain for agricultural use. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your consideration and allowing to continue to hear from us. But I implore you to certainly continue to looking at research and the actual impact that it's having, not just here, but nationwide. Thank you.
All right, that concludes the public comment. We'll move on to mayor's report. I have nothing to report. Council members' input. Anyone on the council like to speak? Item 14, discussion and consideration of action to cancel the second regularly scheduled council meeting for January 2026.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the action to cancel the second regularly scheduled council meeting for January 2026.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, Lori, please poll the council.
Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Mr. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Lucero? Mr. Wilson?
Yes?
Mr. Ledniski?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
And Mr. Daniel.
Yes.
All right, that concludes our meeting for the evening at 6:46. Meeting is adjourned.